What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Career Mode. It's episode number 96. So we start today's stuff with a draw for the Champions League quarter-final. No animation for it, but you see the ties here. Hertha Berlin versus Manchester United. A real blockbuster tie. Real Madrid versus Bayern Munich. You would have seen Dortmund versus Arsenal. How interesting is that? A repeat of last year's semi-final. Of course, we lost to Borussia Dortmund with Arsenal. They now meet in the quarters. But as for our semi-final tie, we just took out a London side. Now we got another one. We're not from North London, from West London. Yes, the lads from Stamford Bridge. The Blues, Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea in the final four of the Champions League. And just like against Spurs, I think it'll be a tough tie. But based on our domestic dominance this season, I put us as favourites heading in to that tie. We'll see both legs in today's episode. And for the first game of today's episode, first of 7 in today's episode, Atletico Madrid away at the Metropolitano as the right now chasing team in La Liga right now, sat in second place in the table, take us on. And heading into the game, Simeone's side knew they had to win to have any chance of trying to get back in this title race. We hadn't lost since match day 1 in La Liga. I kept on mentioning it, but there it is, our second defeat in the league this season. In the end, it was a 1-0 loss. If we were going to lose a game, you'd probably put it down to a 1-0 loss to a Simeone Atletico Madrid side, right? It really was realistic, wasn't it? Atletico would win by a goal to nil due to a dominant rearguard defensive play. I simply could not break them down in the game. Simeone's side get the win. It cuts the gap to single digits, but we're still 9 points clear as well. So I was disappointed to lose the game. I kind of kept it in perspective. If we were going to lose the game again, which I thought we would between now and the end of the season, you put it on, one of the teams that are right now directly below us in the table. Atletico are directly below us in the table in second place, and to lose to a Simeone defensive shutout display, yeah, I thought it was kind of fitting, to be honest. So 1-0 the final score, but again, a dress rehearsal for the Copa del Rey final, and I still feel confident the La Liga title is going to be ours, even though Atletico have now cut it to single digits. And for the second game of today's episode, back to the new camp here to take on Almeria, looking to get back to winning ways, and what a fantastic start. Fati with the opener, Dembele with the second, and in the first 25 minutes, man, I was just playing some lightning quick counter-attacking football. And I mentioned before, I don't know if you guys are the same as me, when you've had a loss in FIFA, like, you go into the next game with a bit of a chip on your shoulder, like with a point to prove, like you feel like you just got to perform better, and that's kind of how I felt in this game right here. Ansu Fati back in the team after his injury, first game's back since the injury. What does he do in first 25 minutes? Bags a brace. It's got goals number 24 and 25 in the season. Fati with 2, Dembele with 1, whilst Almeria will grab a consolation goal right before the break. That's all it proved to be. 3-1 the final score, big one there, and back on track against Almeria. So yeah, I was disappointed to lose the Atletico game. Again, I thought it was kind of fitting and realistic the way it happened, as well as what team we lost to for our second defeat in the league this season. But again, due to how dominant we've been this season, I still feel this La Liga title is ours to literally throw away. Like, if we're going to lose this La Liga title, we're going to have to absolutely throw it away and basically just like wrap it up, put a bow on it, and send it to Diego Simeone. That's the only way we lose this league title, by completely choking. At the moment, even despite the loss, we're looking unstoppable and taking on Athletic Bilbao for the third game of today's episode. Took the lead early on through Dembele. You might have missed it first time, but I had to include the replay. The Rabona goal from Dembele. I mean, listen, it was basically an open goal. And when you got a 5-star weak foot, can you even do a Rabona with a 5-star weak foot? Like, isn't both of your feet the preferred feet? But I know it's not how Rabonas work. But even so, you know what I'm trying to say. Great finish by Dembele, though, for the first goal. And then right before the break, well, 12 minutes before the break, Moise Kean bags our second as he continues his pursuit for the golden boot, right now chasing teammate Ansu Fati. So Barca 2, Athletic Bilbao 0, and with 2 minutes to go in the game, still leading by 2, a chance for Fati to get a goal. And I thought this game was a real nice summation of the season as well. We've been known for our offensive prowess this season. There's a good chance we'll finish with 100 or more league goals this season. And who have been the 3 main targets up top that have been banging in the goals? Well, they all scored 1 each in this game. Dembele, Kean and Fati. And after the win there, as you can see, despite Atletico recently cutting the gap to 9, it's now been extended to 12 once again. Yes, we've got our 12-point cushion back, and with 9 games to go, a far superior goal difference record. I feel very confident indeed. And the head-to-head as well, because we beat Atletico Madrid at home 2-0 and they beat us at the Metropolitano 1-0, that means if we finish level on points, we'll finish above them anyway. So even if they somehow miraculously make the point deficit up, if they finish level with us, we still beat them. So yeah, right now, 9 games to go. I know I'm sounding very arrogant, but I just can't see us slipping up in this title now. I think this La Liga is ours again to chuck away, which I am not prepared to do. So for the first game of April, heading into this one, the penultimate month of football in club football, taking on Villarreal right now, starting 4th place in La Liga, travelling to take on Unai Emery's side. Such a busy month in April, again, mainly due to our progression in the Cup and also in Europe as well. Got both legs against Chelsea in the Champions League quarter-final, with the first leg coming in midweek. So taking on Villarreal away from home, I didn't want any kind of slip-up whatsoever heading into that first leg against Thomas Tuchel's side. So start the game off being on the offensive. Cucurella gave us the early lead. Then 24 minutes in, we get our second through that man, top scorer in La Liga, Ansu Fati. Right before the break, I went for one of those halfway line goals. Again, I mentioned this a couple episodes ago. I do try them once, sometimes twice a game, but the reason I don't include them in the highlights package is because, again, they don't ever get close most of the time, you know, to be honest here. So easy save, still 2-0. And on the hour mark, I thought this was really cool. Whilst we have been the best scoring team in La Liga right now, we've also got the best defensive record too. Brilliant save by Ter Stegen, fantastic block by the youngster Bilbao Arteta, and then from that we broke and managed to get our 3rd goal after a little bit of a scramble. Oyarzabal finds the back of the net in a quick Barca counter-attack for our 3rd of the game. 3-0 the final score, and a big win there against the side in the top 4. I thought that was a really cool highlight there. Great save, great block, great counter-attack, and a clinical finish from Mikel as well. 3-0 the final score, and again, despite the loss to Atletico Madrid, I said it, even after the loss, I was like, you know, philosophical about it. Yes, you know, time to get revenge, time to win the next game big, but to be honest here, I feel so confident La Liga title is going to be ours as we chase the treble. But the hardest trophy of the 3 to win is this one. I have won a domestic league title. I've won 3 domestic cups, but I haven't won the Champions League yet. So for the first leg of the Champions League quarter-final, Chelsea, Thomas Tuchel's side, so many classic battles in Champions League nights between Barcelona and Chelsea over all the years. Ramirez's chip at the Nou Camp, Torres rounding, was it Victor Valdez, Ronaldinho's little footwork, little dance on the edge of the area at Stamford Bridge. God, what year was that? 2005? Really showing my age here, aren't I? But so many classic battles over the years. So excited for the tie, taking on another London side here. We took lead very early on through Junior Firpo stepping in from the right. What a signing he's been since coming in on transfer deadline day in January. But Chelsea would battle back 11 minutes before the break. You felt they needed an away goal to take back to West London. They got one. Macias spots some Chelsea fans in the home end. God knows what they're doing there. Where are the stewards at? I don't know. But even so, Chelsea get back on level terms, and it's Macias with the goal. But I felt really, whilst we would feel confident heading back to Stamford Bridge, regardless of whether we won the game or not, I needed to win the game. I didn't want to concede a second away goal, and I wanted to score a second ourselves. So right before the break, we were back in front. Dembele with the finish, stepping in from the right, just like Firpo, and finding the back of the net. And with 6 minutes to go in the second half, the game totally died down. The first half was played at such a frenetic pace. The second half, not really much to report. With 5 minutes on the clock, Dembele finds Trincao. He offloads to the man off the bench, and who is there to score the goal, to give us a 2-goal cushion and wrap up the win? Well, I couldn't press L1 and double circle and show respect, because nowadays when there's a late goal getting scored, oftentimes on next-gen consoles you'll see these celebrations, and they were wild as well. Tammy Abraham off the bench, the super sub. How many times has he done it since we joined Barca at the start of the season? I made him my backup striker this year. What a decision that proved to be. He scores our 3rd in a 3-1 victory, so heading back to Stamford Bridge, Chelsea will need 2. I mean, if we get the away goal to cancel out theirs, then they'll be in trouble. I wouldn't say we've got 1 foot in the semi-final. Absolutely not. Chelsea are a fantastic side, but big win there, and Abraham's late goal could prove to make all the difference. Obviously, he's moved on to Roma in real life. Very interesting indeed. And I have to say now, we are starting to see more English and, I should say, British players be willing to move abroad and apply their trade. Not, you know, when they're in the twilight of their careers and about to retire, but oftentimes when they're still very young, like Tammy Abraham is, and approaching their primes or peak. I think that's fantastic. So I'm going to keep an eye on Tammy Abraham out of Stadio Olimpico, and I hope he does well there in Rome. Of course, signing from Chelsea in this summer transfer window. But anyway, for the penultimate game of today's episode, Celta Vigo away from home as our crusade towards the title continues. Fati scoring early on, and then late on in the game still leading by 1. Moise Keane wraps it up heading in the corner in a 2-0 victory. And our final game, 7th and final game of today's episode, right before the Copa del Rey final against Atletico Madrid, where we'll be going for our our first trophy. We're not going for just one, we're not going for just two, we're going for three. And I said this one will be the most difficult to win, but after our first leg win against Chelsea at the Nou Camp, now taking on at Stamford Bridge, didn't need to score. We could afford to concede one and still go through, but that's not the Barcelona way. We want goals, we want to win all of our games, and 19 minutes after the restart in this game, very little going on. Chelsea could not break down our back three. Mikel or Yarzabal, what an option to have off the bench, makes it 1-0, gives us the lead, and with 5 minutes on the clock, a chance to make it 2, and wrap it up. Bilbao Arteta rolls it through to Garcia Marine. And it feels so great. Finally, in our 7th season of the save, we're getting youth players that are making meaningful impacts on the save. Bilbao Arteta has been really good this season, and Garcia Marine, who he signed from Inter, gets his first goal in a Barcelona shirt to send us through. Game wrapped up, tie over. Chelsea 0, Barca 2 on the night. We're through to the Champions League semi-finals. It's the stage we reached last season with Arsenal before being knocked out by Dortmund. They beat Dortmund to get through to the semi-finals. Real Madrid also made it through, as did Hertha Berlin, and in the final 4 will be taking on, well, you see it there, unfortunately, a little bit of a bug, didn't get the animation, but there it is, Hertha Berlin in the semi-final, Real Madrid versus Arsenal, the other tie. And whilst you might sit there and think on paper, that's the easiest of the three, I don't think so at all. I think it's like against Chelsea, just like against Spurs, will be favourites, but it will be quite an even contest. But that was this episode of the Realistic Career Mode, guys. Big thank you for watching, hope you have enjoyed it, and if you have, then please drop a like. Most of you all have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of the Realistic Career Mode. It's going to be the Copa del Rey Final against the Atletico Madrid as we go for our first trophy with Barcelona very soon.